How's it going, everyone? It's Sam coming at you from the airport. We have to talk about what's happening with Bitcoin right now. We have some really interesting things happening. Of course, the price has come down a little bit on Bitcoin, sitting around 106,000 right now. I can explain why that's happening. Also, we have a lot of big purchases of Bitcoin, even announced today, which throws some people off. Why are we falling when everyone seems like they're buying Bitcoin? We'll go through that. If you don't mind, hit subscribe so you can see future videos just like this. Also, if you want to trade, something that I have been looking for a long time is a way to trade Bitcoin with Bitcoin as collateral. There's an exchange that I used to use that I no longer use anymore, but I found Bydfi does this. You can see over on their derivatives, USDT, you can trade Bitcoin, Ethereum, ETH, like I said, XRP, Solana. There are a few that you can trade, and you can use their own token as collateral. So you can see I have a Bitcoin trade here opened in Bitcoin, which is really interesting because when it goes well, you can make a lot of money and it's paid in Bitcoin, or you can get a very large gain and it's paid in Bitcoin, which can be really beneficial. So if you get 100% gain on Bitcoin in USDT, you get 100% gain in US dollars. If you get 100% gain in Bitcoin, well, you get paid out in Bitcoin. So if you did a 10x, right, Bitcoin would go from, let's call it 100 to 110, you get 100% return. But again, that's paid in Bitcoin, and Bitcoin's value has gone up by 10% over that time span as well. So you can really juice up returns doing it this way. So if you want to check out the link underneath the video, we do have a special. You can get anywhere between 20 and 60% bonuses when you use my link. So BlackRock buying $482 million of Bitcoin once again. Seems like just a few hours ago I was talking about the 411 million, and then the 431, and then the 877. They continue to buy $500 million clips a day. I still think people don't understand or don't care because the price isn't moving necessarily a lot right now. They don't care that BlackRock's doing this, but they'll care a lot when the price starts moving. They'll realize that BlackRock is acquiring so much and it's hard to get your hands on much Bitcoin. Another way to put this, if they bought $482 million worth of Bitcoin every trading day, that would equate to more than they have in the ETFs right now. That would equate to about $96 billion. So this would be a ramp up for sure in their accumulation. This is $20 million per hour. Like even in the off market or aftermarket hours, like $20 million of Bitcoin bought every hour. Jack Mallers also raising capital, $685 million more dollars to buy Bitcoin. We know Trump just announced that one of his companies is going to buy $2.5 billion worth of Bitcoin. We have, let's see, who else? El Salvador continues to buy Bitcoin, a Bitcoin a day, sometimes more. They actually just got an IMF loan payment approved too. So they're taking loans and going out and buying Bitcoin. They're almost running the MicroStrategy playbook themselves. This is after the IMF said, no, we're not gonna give you any loans unless you get rid of Bitcoin, basically. And yeah, what do you know? They continue to buy more and more Bitcoin. So we have all these entities buying Bitcoin, but yet the price isn't going up. Why is that? I think it's manipulation right now. There's a trader that's been trading $1 billion plus of Bitcoin, and his liquidation price is right around 106,000. So when we see these kinds of quick moves down, I think this is happening because it's a whale that's trying to liquidate this trader or an exchange, right? As far as I can tell now, he still has his positions open. I believe he had to close part of his position to lower his liquidation price. That's what I think is happening. Of course, it could be a little bit of sell the news from the event, from the Bitcoin conference, right? And I think it's probably a mix of both. Exchanges are trying to hunt this trader though. So, be thinking about the trader. Of course, I think this is extremely aggressive, right? He's 40x long on Bitcoin, which is just kind of insane. Like, that is very aggressive. These trades I opened today are 3x. Like, there's a very big difference. The liquidation price on my Bitcoin trade is 81,700, and I can add more margin easily to increase this. Now, Jerome Powell is speaking with Trump, right now. Apparently Jerome Powell met with Trump at the White House, and while they did not discuss rate cuts, they did discuss growth, inflation, and employment. So maybe beating around the bush a little bit, but obviously they're talking. Trump is trying to lower rates. Now, the general market is looking quite good today. If you go to Market Watch, you can see actually it has fallen. It has fallen throughout the day. NASDAQ was up about 1.7% after the market closed yesterday. It was still up over 1% this morning. Now it is falling down after the court blocks the Trump tariff. So, yeah, it's such an interesting time. So much uncertainty. Apparently, there's a second court that is also blocking the tariff. So, no one really knows where this is going to be next week or next month. But we do know that Bitcoin continues to grow in adoption, continues to have more and more companies buying it. And supposedly we have FTX distributing $5 billion in stablecoins to creditors tomorrow. We'll see if that happens. Now, like I said, I am long this market. I'm very excited for the future of Bitcoin and for crypto. It is interesting to see all the development, all the change that's happened over the last year or two. It's just been insane. Now, if you do want to trade, I have the link underneath the video to Bydfi. Like I said, you can use the underlying collateral. So if you have like XRP or you have Bitcoin that you want to put in a leverage trade, you can do that. You can also just trade with USDT. I have trades open on both, and actually I opened them this morning. You can see that they're down a little bit, right? Bitcoin's down 6.5% because we fell from 108.5 down to 106.1. I do not sweat this. This is my strategy, and this is one of the only platforms I'm actually down on. You can, like, let me pull this up. You can see 650%, 170% up, 130% up, down 33%, but this is my smallest position on this platform, then up 344% on this XRP trade. So I love this strategy, and honestly, I don't even think it matters a lot when exactly you pull this because of how it's set up. So I have this long 3x on Bitcoin, not a massive amount, right? It's 0.01 Bitcoin. At least for me, that's not massive. So when I open at 108.5 and we fall $2,400, I'm not sweating it. I'm not I'm not this hyper-liquid whale that is sweating over a couple $1,000 move. This allows me to have a lot of padding. It allows me to not get liquidated until 81,700, which you zoom out, that was near the recent low. We were on 75,000 basically. I can easily add more margin to this long position. So unless we fall down 80, 90%, even then I could add enough margin to continue lowering my lower my liquidation price. Unless we fall down massively, I can easily add more margin and avoid liquidation. I've had that with many positions where they opened up in the red, and I usually I always try to open up at opportune times, right? Where we've fallen a decent amount typically. Like, I love when we have pullbacks like this, but there's so much good stuff that's happening in the market, and I just found out that Bydfi allows you to do these trades with the underlying collateral. I had to open some trades. I did not know that they offered this. So if you want to try this out, underneath the video, you can check it out. The exchange I used to do this on, I made a lot of profit this way, but of course, approach at your own risk. Thank you so much. See you in the next one.